Sorry, it stopped. It stopped for a minute again. Sorry. Could you repeat that? Because we were filming nicely, but then it turned itself off for some
I'm
reason.
just saying that I've just been in for a very, very serious procedure at the doctor's. I've had to donate quite a lot of blood, probably an armful, and of course it's left me very weak. They didn't give me my
Which arm feels empty now then?
they didn't give me the biscuits and tea that I'm entitled to when I give blood.
Well, I think that's a courtesy rather than a
And they couldn't
entitlement.
they couldn't get me out the door quick enough.
Oh, you mean they were quick?
Well, no, I mean main door of the thing. So, yeah, I'm very, very ill because of it.
What? You're is your duck slightly knocked off then, or whatever it's called?
A little bit, because I think it's my right to have the tea and biscuits. Why otherwise do you give blood?
Well, some people do it for public spirited, and some people might take their own Jaffa cakes as well and have a flask hidden.
That's actually another thing as well to do with what you're saying about Jaffa cakes is very apt in my case at the moment, because I've been to the doctors on another occasion to do with my problem in getting aroused, and
well, Manchester United aren't always that exciting a football team to watch.
No, but you shouldn't keep.
Well, you talking about Crystal Palace?
You put me off track of what I'm going to say now.
When you were on about being aroused, I can't imagine what other way you mean.
Now, a friend of mine, a black man, went to the doctors about it fairly recently, and he came back to.
That's an unusual name. How long has he been called fairly?
He said to his wife that the doctor said that she got to take all the orders that he gives her because he is, as the doctor said, he is impotent. And not impotent, and not important.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes. So
it was a mild attempt at making a test, and it didn't work.
Yeah. Well, you could take. I'll put you on a stool now.
Ugh, that's disgusting. I don't like that idea at all. I've just put clean clothes on today.
Well, it's a polite stool. There's a little puddle on it actually.
Anyway, so I've hooked up to this dating agency, and nobody's interested.
Well, somebody might see this video.
Nobody's interested in me.
I mean, I could charge you a slight fee for doing this, couldn't I?
Well,
what do you reckon? 50 pence?
I haven't got any money on me.
Well, I'll take your glasses case. I haven't got a proper glasses case for my glasses. And you need to put them down by the phone. I suggest. Sorry, I don't mean to be like Sergeant Major and tell you what to do.
Yeah. Anyway. So.
Yeah. So you've been on this dating
agency. I met this woman who I think she's real. I'm not sure. I can't make up my mind whether it's a proper dating.
As real as Veronica.
Pardon?
As real as Veronica or realer. More real than Veronica, then?
Eh?
More real than Veronica?
Yeah, she's a woman. I mean, you're a woman as well.
Yeah. No, she's a facsimile of a woman, isn't she? Really? And her visage might be based on a real human being.
Yeah. Anyway, so there you go. Yeah, been talking to. I'm assuming it's a real person. I can't make up my mind if it's a dodgy website or not. And it's.
Were you looking for a dodgy website?
No, we're just looking for somebody to be a companion. That's all, a woman.
Yes. Somebody to be a woman or an actual woman.
Somebody that I could have as a companion.
Yeah, who is a woman.
Who is a woman? Yeah.
Yeah. I think
So,
yeah, I think I'd prefer that to somebody who's like a woman. Yeah, but I mean, I think men can be good companions as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, of course.
Because fellas wouldn't stand a chance otherwise.
So talking to this woman, she's only just a bit younger than me. About 4 years younger, that's all. And I don't know. She seems all right, but every time I suggest meeting up for a coffee or something, I don't hear from her. So
well, maybe I don't know.
Maybe I'm being a bit too quick off.
When did you last hear from her then?
This morning.
Oh well.
Only a message saying I tried to contact her, but I couldn't get hold of her or something, and she said, "Well, I've always been here waiting for your call," but I don't believe all that. So,
what she said, she was waiting. Well, it sounds like that the line of communication is still open.
Mm.
I mean, you don't chew the telephone wire with nervousness, do you?
And then there was another woman that I was interested in as well. I think she lives in Loxley, I think. And then there was this other one, a couple of others that I replied to their. They look at your profile and then they contact you, and some of them contact you with the biggest load of rubbish ever.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
You'll have to be careful you don't end up one of those bigelows that people warn their daughters about. You don't end up being a bigelow.
Gigolo?
That's even better. I mean, worse.
Is it? I don't know what a bigelow is.
Well, it's like I suppose it's like a deeper kind of low, isn't it, really? You know, it's a bigger low. It's deeper. But I mean, I just thought I'd say bigelow instead of gigolo, because that might get confused with a sort of a physics type measurement, a gigabyte or something like that.
So where's Asif and where's Charlotte?
Well, Charlotte was in the backyard with her friend.
Oh. Jenny.
No, it's a friend with her.
Oh, she's nice.
Yes, I don't know whether the audience saw, but there was a pleasant appearance young woman walked past. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, I thought you might notice. Yeah, so Charlotte brought a friend in here the other day to have her hair rinsed. Because she's got like short hair like number 2 and put bleach all over it. So you make sure your car's not in the way. Bit of excitement. All right then. Right, so Graham's doing his parking warden bit. I think he might be looking for the person whose car it might be, or van it might be, because the tram has just stopped. This happens occasionally, not far from our shop, and it's because somebody's probably delivering to the shop down the road, the Polish shop, which has quite a few interesting different items that you wouldn't normally get at too many non-Polish shops, I imagine. One of the interesting things they have there is alternative flavoured Jaffa cakes. So they have flavours like blackcurrant and chocolate and probably lime flavour as well. So anyway, I recommend it. And they have some varieties of different beers in there, so as well, and different meats, if you like meat. So, well, they still have the meat there, even if you don't like meat. And they have some unusual and different vegetarian soups as well, and vegetable soups. Cup of soups. Graham, what are you doing? Why don't you go down the road and... Because I'm telling people about the Polish shop because you went off camera. But if you want to help, you could go down the road and.
He's gone. He's found it.
Oh, you found? Oh, well done. Oh, all
I think he was on his way up here actually. The bloke.
Yeah. What, to the shop?
Well, it looked like he was heading in our direction. Yeah.
All right then. Yeah. So I told them about the Polish shop because you weren't on camera.
No.
And Veronica wasn't saying very much. What would you recommend in the Polish shop? What would you? I mean, is there anything down there that you particularly like in the Polish shop?
That they don't sell, you mean?
No. What do they sell in the Polish shop that you particularly like?
Oh, I see. Right.
I'm doing an advert for them.
I like.
I mean, I don't expect any money off them.
I like their continental lagers.
Yes.
I sometimes like their cold meat section.
Yes.
I'm not overly fussed about the bread. It's not my favourite.
But the crisps are good, aren't they?
Crisps are all right, but I've gone off crisps quite a lot lately.
I know, but those Lay's crisps.
Yeah.
I'd strongly when you do like crisps, I think you'd recommend those.
Yeah, they're not bad, I suppose. It's just I'm getting fed up with the crisps generally.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just, what else? Some of the stuff I don't know what the answer is because it's all in foreign and I can't read it.
In foreign?
It's all in Polish and I can't read it.
What you mean? People have come over from Poland and they've got Polish items in the shop?
Yeah.
Well,
it's fine. I'm not criticising.
Oh no. As long as you know what you, but you can usually tell by some pictures on the packets, etc.
Yeah, you might do with some stuff. Yeah, they sell things like roll mops and stuff, don't they? Which are not my favourite, but
roll mops.
Yeah, sweet herring.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I like it in a sweet sauce. I don't like it in that awful bitter tart sauce.
Oh yeah.
Good for you as well.
Yeah, I've heard the fish being recommended before down there. Yeah. If they've still got the kind of fish that somebody had.
And they do cabanas, which is a spicy sausage.
Yeah.
And things like that.
And you could reach over to your right and get that jar of chocolates and show them the variety of chocolates that you can get from the Polish shop. You can buy loose chocolates. You know, next to the picture, if you draw a line between the phone and the picture, there's a glass jar next to the picture. There's a glass jar next to the picture. That's it. So you could hold that up to the viewers. Has it just got lollies in at the moment, or has it got some sweets as well?
Got a couple of sweets, I think.
Yeah. So we've got a variety of. You can get a variety of sweets down there as well. Anyway, thank you for the demonstration.
No problem.
I've seen it done more enthusiastically by.
Now, are you going to Salon International this year?
I'm not very interested, really.
Oh, what is it that's dampened your interest?
Well, because I only normally see, maybe one thing of interest, or maybe two things, and it's more like, would you be interested in going, for instance, if it was a beer festival, and instead of them having beer there, they just had froth?
They just have
froth. You know, the froth off the top of the beer. Yeah. So I know you like your beer. So would you be interested in going to
a beer festival?
But you just were able to get a spoonful of froth to try it.
I wouldn't enjoy it.
Why not?
Because it would be pretty tasteless, I think, and not satisfying enough to drink.
Yeah, it'd be sort of less than it could be, really.
Yeah.
And
it's just the finishing bits of a pint of beer, isn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, it should have some of the taste of the beer, I would have thought, the froth in it. And to me, Salon International is a bit like that, really. It's more about people.
Yeah.
I mean, could you do a little play for a minute?
Pardon?
Could you do a little play for a minute? Could you stand up next to Veronica and pretend you're... I'll give the introduction, right? You don't have to go on very long. Now we have Graham Simpson, international stylist, live from Bridge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You're a bit high up, actually, by the way. Shall I tip the camera up? So, Graham, I've just got a microphone over here. Now, could you tell us about your latest hair plaiting or hair styling techniques on your lovely model?
No, I can tell you I've got a lovely model, but I can't tell you about the techniques I'm using because they're not that different to anybody else's technique.
Well, I think you do have a unique sense of creativity.
Well, I mean, I do like playing. I do like playing with her hair, I must admit.
Yeah, but I mean, you do styles.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is a good juncture actually to say that you are interested in having volunteers come in and having having the hair done basically.
Yeah.
You can, well, whatever they're willing to have done really.
Yeah.
And you listen to them very carefully and try and do something that they'll like, whether it's a temporary thing or a more permanent thing.
Yeah.
So you are interested in having hair models. So have you thought about what you're going to do with Veronica's hair now?
I'm just going to try a loose plait, that's all.
Okay. So how do you make a loose plait then? Is it some way of you gathering the hair which you're not pulling as much tight or something?
Possibly a bit of that, not making it tight.
Yeah.
But I don't know really.
Well, her head doesn't seem to be moving very much. It's slightly moving.
Mm.
And as well, sometimes people want to prefer a casual look rather than and that kind of hair.
Yeah.
Well, you could have shown us it before you rubbed it out again. Yeah. Sometimes, and the artificial hair that Veronica's got tends to sort of stay together to a certain extent, even without a band on the bottom or something like that, or a clip. So, I mean, it is... you're going to try and leave it in for a few minutes this time?
What? You know what?
You're going to try and leave the plait in for a few minutes?
I'll see if it turns out any good.
Well...
I think I've forgotten what to do.
Well, just, she's not going to complain anyway.
Mm.
I mean, we don't want to spoil her hair.
True.
Some young girls came in the other day and had a nice game with her hair.
Yeah.
And they didn't spoil it or anything, so they were well behaved.
Good.
So that was... so this looks a bit of an unconventional plait.
Yeah, it's not very good at all.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I'm intending to do it a bit unconventionally.
I don't know.
You need an clip or something.
I saw one style in the myhairdressers.com once. This lady did like a rope braid type thing.
Yeah.
It was really good. I don't know how she did it now, but all the she made it like a very, very... I can't even describe it, to be honest.
She probably twisted the individual sections with a more or less three strands or twisted strands of hair then plaited together. But you're gradually adding things in now, so it's which is this is like a loose version of a scalp plait, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. The plane flying over.
Oh, it's hot, isn't it?
Well, why don't you take your jacket off?
I've only got a vest on.
Well, you're worried about showing your muscles off in case some members of the audience will faint or something.
Have you got any deodorant or anything?
Well, can you smell me from over there?
No, asking you if you've got any because I might be sweating a bit from...
I think I might have got some actually. I don't normally have such things, but somebody brought a gift. I don't know whether it was a targeted gift in particular. This, what's this here? This is antiperspirant deodorant by Sainsbury's.
Oh, I do.
Do you have problems when you're plaiting artificial hair on artificial heads?
Got a grip.
Why not use... Don't interrupt the advert.
Got a grip.
Don't interrupt Sainsbury's antiperspirant deodorant. You can even go and get a grip when a hairdresser needs one and give him the deodorant at the same time. Wait, it's hanging together anyway. Oh yeah, you're too near the camera now to do a proper advert.
Sorry.
We're going to put it... Oh, it's got a... You could... It could be an artificial eye, that. You're doing it off camera. You won't do a proper demonstration. It's out. It's. You might want to be discreet, actually. That's it. Only the crumbliest, flakiest roll-ons go like roll-ons never rolled on before. Okay. Yes.
Oh.
So there it is.
You see where I've lost all that blood? Look.
I'm not interested in advertising Sainsbury's antiperspirant deodorant. Available from Sainsbury's, apparently, unless it's an old packet from a few years before. Thank you very much. Yeah, you showed us where you got injected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in a bad way with it.
Well, that looks like a very soft propeller, doesn't it? On a sort of a I don't know, a gossamer plane. What you clipping that on?
I've got to go and take Jim to the hospital in a bit.
All right.
Are you coming for the run?
No, I've got a customer at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Well, give him my regards anyway.
What for? A trim or a colour?
Yeah. Oh, can you turn the head round now?
A trim or a colour?
When you finished doing the hair.
A trim or a colour, I said.
It's a cut. It's probably be a bit more than a trim. Yeah.
Is your camera running still?
Yeah, of course.
Well, it's wasting film because we're not talking about anything.
We are. We've been talking all the time, and I did a you know, we generally talked about antiperspirant and everything, and you showed the location of your blood test.
Yeah.
And we've had live deodorant employment. You better take this deodorant now, anyway.
Okay, I'll buy you another one then.
Well, I think it was given to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what about the football then?
Which football?
Any football that you can think of, talk about.
Well, I mean,
Hey, has Ryan Giggs lost his job as Wales manager?
I'm not sure, but he's had he's been in court or something like that, with
It's just I was looking at reading an article yesterday with about well, it was
he's been accused of something,
and it said manager Robert Page.
All right.
And I thought, has he been booted out then, Giggs?
Well, I think he's facing some allegations of untowardness.
Yeah, towards other women, but he's been found like that before. He's a fucking idiot.
Oh,
sorry.
You could be What's your language? And you could be sued for
Okay. Scrap that bit then.
Well, I can't edit it very well. You just have to warn people. There's a slight bit of swearing on this. Calm down. Yeah. Well, anyway, yes, but he might not be guilty.
True, yeah. He's such a great player. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he's wonderful.
Such a brilliant footballer.
I think as far as I can tell, as well, he's been a decent. Well, he's the Welsh manager as well, isn't he?
Well, that's what I mean. Is he not the Welsh manager anymore?
Well, I mean, he certainly was, but I think because of the cloud whether it's deserved or not over his life, it's sort of might be affecting him, you know, because he's got this other issue to cope with, as it were. Yeah, so
I used to do this to Christine's here when she was here.
Well, she might pop in sometime.
She was sat there, right? Oh God, my back hurts. And she's
was that you live then?
Her hair's about this length, or it was.
Yeah.
And I used to just like run my fingers through it like that.
Yeah.
And she loved it, man. She was falling asleep.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a nice thing to do, isn't it? It's a nice thing to do for somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Is she your favourite dummy lady then?
Who, Christine?
No. She's a lovely real person. I'm talking about Veronica.
Yeah, she's lovely.
You want to have a real relationship with a real person though. I mean, you know, I hope Veronica doesn't feel insulted in any way.
Well, I hope not.
Because there was one chap who got, I think he got about 7 real dolls. They actually looked like real women, sat around his house. And I think it was something like Channel 4 did a programme or something like that. And they got him to date a real woman. And but she couldn't cope because she came into the house and saw these 7 artificial women. They got, you know, no disrespect to Veronica, but they got legs and arms and everything, you know, and they. But this woman, the real woman who wanted a date or went out with him for a date, I think she felt a bit. It would come to a point, I think, where, you know, the women would have to go, the dummies would have to go, or her really. So it ended up. She didn't want to. She didn't want to sort of continue giving him a try, as it were, because it's yeah. So I mean, in the final analysis, I think having a date with a real person is, you know, even if you've fallen in love with a film star on a screen, I mean, it's what they're like in real life is they might be very they might look lovely, but you're probably seeing them at their best when they're on the screen, and as well as them maybe not looking quite as perfect as they do on the screen, they might have unlovely personalities. Although I'm sure some of them have got, you know, perfectly pleasant. But anyway, so you never know with your dating you're paying for. Or somebody might contact Betty Tiger's YouTube and want to date with you, Graz.
I doubt it very much. Well, you could try it.
Well, I mean, they've seen you, you know, they've seen you with your jumper off now, putting your deodorant on and everything.
Yeah. I
don't know whether many people find that particularly attractive, you know, because, but I mean, at least it demonstrates that you use deodorant. Oh, that reminds me, I watched that Miranda last night. I thought that was very funny.
No, she's not funny at all.
Oh, well, I think a lot of people disagree with her.
No, I'm telling you now, she's not funny.
I think you'd probably find you funny.
I doubt it very much.
Well, the audience was laughing, and I don't think it was canned laughter. Yes, no, it was. I think it was the first ever episode, because they played it on BBC One last night. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was good. No, I think she's very talented. And I watched a TV show, and she's finished doing that Miranda show now. I don't know what else she's got lined up to do.
She was in Not Going Out.
Yes, I know, no, but I think she was in that before, really. And she's been in 1 or 2 movies as well, I think. But the good thing I heard about that Miranda show was that it was her idea and the story and everything, I think, as far as I know, anyway, and she was the main writer. But she allowed the other people who were different characters in it to sort of come in and do their own bit, you know, listen to suggestions and things. So she just didn't want it all to be her, but she wanted it to be like a team effort. And I think that made the comedy all the better, really, because people were coming in with their own bits of inspiration and that kind of thing. And it seemed to be a really good coming together, really, of cooperation and that kind of thing. Yeah, because it reminded me a bit of the Veronica Wood when she did that Dinner Ladies. She seemed
Victoria Wood, you mean?
Veronica Wood, did I say?
No, Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I got confused, and not that I'm staring intently at Veronica or anything. Victoria Wood, yeah. Sorry, because she had an excellent group of actors with her, and I'm sure some Victoria Wood would have sort of encouraged them to be, to enjoy themselves. Hopefully not take over, but sort of make it a really good team effort, really. A bit like in a football team, you mean you don't want one player. It's very good when somebody scores your goals, but, you know, no goals will be scored if people don't pass the thing. You're going to clip that up then, you're going to move and put a clip on.
Well, there is no clips, is there?
Well, if you look at that red box, which isn't very far away from you, you can... Not that red box, no, the red box by your left arm on the shelf. There's some clips in there. But there's also, there's some clips in there, but otherwise if you stand up and move to the side, there's a pink clip. Do you want a big clip?
Yeah.
Just do it. Sorry, I didn't really mean that kind of big clip. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Should warn people. Oh, she ought to have a twirl now. Not you, Graham. But now, she might like to keep that clip, but normally speaking, you would have that more discreet.
I know that.
So we got some hair grip. We got some hair grips. If you wanted to, you could.
Okay, give me some hair grips then.
Where did I have the hair grips the other day? Look in my look in that brown case there on the floor. Oh, it's behind you. Right, the brown case near where you've been sitting. I think there's some clips in there. I think there's loads of hairpins and stuff. You just slide them to the side. That's the hopeless case, by the way.
Yeah, I know already.
No, I'm talking to the audience as well. I'm not just talking to you. So that one slides that way. That's it. Are there some?
Bloody hell, there's loads in here.
Well, there you go then.
You are a good boy.
Well, do you want to turn Veronica round, and because you'll be doing more of the work at the back of the head, so we can see what you're doing, and be aware of the camera when you're putting the grips in, so that we can see what you're doing. You can walk in front of the camera on the way there. Do you want a comb or something? Or what are you looking for?
I'm looking for a tail comb.
No, it's all right. A tail comb? Yeah. Well, there might be one somewhere. Can you cope with that one?
Yeah, it's fine.
Right. Well, turn her. I would turn her around now so that I understand as well. Sorry. Careful, Graham. Turn the whole stand around, maybe.
Right.
No, well, it's just so we can see where you're working.
Where do you want it?
Well, there is fine, but where are you going to be working? Where are you going to put the grips in?
Well, I might put a few in here.
Right, well, that needs to be facing us then, so we can see what you're doing.
Like that?
Probably, if you put them in at the side rather than at the back, yeah?
Well,
yeah.
about...
Turn it a bit more, slightly away. No. Turn her head away from the camera a little bit.
Away from the camera?
Yeah. Yeah. Move the stand, it might be easier. That's it. Now then. Okay, you're all right now. Now, if you stay there, then we can film still. Sorry.
Well,
Action.
I'm not an expert at this.
No. Well, you've got skills, Graham.
Okay.
How's that artificial hair back comb?
It's not too bad.
And did you put some stuff on to smooth it out afterwards?
Yeah, could do.
It does seem to back comb pretty well, actually. And I think it's lighter than real hair. I mean, not in colour, but in... that's good. We can see what we're doing. Using the narrow teeth. So you could say you've got a narrow teeth narrative.
Blimey.
So that's hairspray. So, are you going to replace the? Are you going to replace the big pink clip?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you got some grips and stuff? Do you want me to pass them to you?
That's all right. You need to grip that there first.
Yeah. So if this was a movie, this would be the gripping scene. So you might get an assistant at this point to pass you the grips. You try and move it to the side a bit in a minute, because we can. Is that all you needed? One grip to replace that big pink grip?
So far.
Wow. I think you might need a bit more if she was going out doing a disco dance. Because, I mean, this is quite a casual sort of plait style. Graham's, you can't see it probably, but he's putting his foot on Veronica's stand so that she doesn't move too much. But to be fair to him, he doesn't normally put his feet on the customer's feet to keep them still when they're having hairdressing procedures. You're more gentle than that, aren't you, Graham? Gentleman.
Try to be.
You wouldn't stomp on a woman's foot to keep her still in the chair.
No.
Or a man, by the way. getting a... No, we're not getting a delivery. So a postman going past. I've got a feeling that heavy plat will need more pinning down before you... Oh, you moved it.
It's gone.
Well, yeah. I'd probably recommend pinning that up before.
Don't matter. It's only practicing.
No, well, come on, rescue it, man. Pin the plat up. I want to see what it looks like. Do you want to hold anything or anything?
No.
Pass you some pins or anything? It's quite a good one. They've got those grips on. I mean the bent edges on. Help you. Mm. Yeah, so who do you predict might win the European Football Championship then? Most of the games are going to be in England, I think. I think there'll be somebody in Scotland. Oh.
No.
You might need to put your foot on the base and straighten the head.
I don't like it. Doing it again.
It looks quite good, the effect that you've got just with the hairspray and stuff as well. That might be plaiting the hair like that, and then you might have added a bit of texture to the smooth hair. Yeah, so that should be sort of in the
Any
middle.
rubber bands? Oh, it don't matter. This will do.
Okay. Let me know if you want me to help you in any way, because I'm... You're right, you don't need a tail comb or anything.
No, I'm only playing at the minute.
Well, we're recording it though. This is meant to persuade potential people to come and have the hair done as hair models. You're a little bit rougher on Veronica than you would be on a human customer.
I imagine so, yeah.
A little bit. We're nearly up to 45 minutes now, this video.
Oh, okay.
Who do you predict is going to win the Euro?
I don't know. I don't even know who's in it. I don't even know what group England are in.
Well, England are in, and Scotland and Wales.
What, in the same group?
I think England might be playing one game against Scotland. I don't know really. I'd have to have a look, but they've had adverts on it about it on the telly. I think England have got a pretty good squad, really, if they manage to play together. Because in 1966 they had a good mixture of people, and they didn't necessarily have the most skillful players, but they had the best combination of different characters and skills and strengths, really.
Yeah.
Don't you think that's a good idea?
What? Sorry. What?
For a football team to have a mixture of different. You probably need some strong people. Some people are mentally strong as well, and that might not be as skillful as other players. And then, obviously, it helps if you've got some very creative and skillful people. But you probably also need your people who will be a problem to the opposition in as far as that they might stop the opposition's most skillful players doing what they want to do.
Haven't got any bands, have you?
I did find one the other day. Well, then you might have to double it over.
Thank you.
Yeah. Excuse me. One thing you could do, Graz, as a suggestion, if you put your finger through the other side of the hairband, you know, here, look, you could, well, that looks good, but I just thought you could pass the ponytail through there. Well, but that looks good, actually.
Yeah. Thank you.
I thought you could, it'd be a bit more, wouldn't be as smooth on the top, but it, yeah. How many grips do you think that'll take to keep him? We've got some light grips as well.
Yeah, but I just want to just see if I can get the thing.
I know, but I mean, you might as well use the light coloured grips if they're just as easy to find. Are they there or?
I don't know. Can't see them. There's a couple.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could use the darker grips where they're more hidden. I suppose it's, to a certain extent, it's like conjuring, isn't it? It's like being an on-stage magician. As long as, you know, the audience don't necessarily have to see what I mean, it's good to see now what you're doing, but what I mean is that they don't have to see the if there's something that's holding something up, it doesn't necessarily have. It needs to be neat on the outside, the thing that we see, but the thing that's holding things up needs to be, have some strength and practicality about it, sort of thing. It's less important that a grip or a clip, if it's doing its function, if we can't see it. Maybe hairpins would work for those. Hairspray.
I've got to take Jim to the hospital in a bit.
Yeah, what time? What time?
What time is it?
Well, I think it must be nearly 1 o'clock now. Maybe it's 10 to 1, but I've just looked at your watch upside down. Well, that was good. Slightly backcomb it to keep your loop together. You're also twisting it slightly, feeding the loose ends into the inside of the circle. I think, what I can tell. You manage. I usually think there's no rules as long as somebody likes it, and but there's some good tips that you can help people be even more pleased with their hair.
It's no good if I keep stopping to get a bloody clipper.
Move the chair a bit nearer here.
They're all pins, I think. Silver case gone.
Well, it should be there. Is it down here somewhere? It should be there, shouldn't it? No.
That's my drill. I wonder where that gone. That's okay. That's it. There, it's there. You couldn't see it. Just okay. have to pick him up about...
It's nearly 1 o'clock now. Well, the good thing about this customer is she's very patient. Well, some people just watch videos of water flowing over a reservoir and it helps them relax and everything.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you watching you sort of fiddling about with Veronica's hair with all the slight distractions. That'd be a good name. Good name for a pop group for you. Graham Simpson and the Distractions.
Very good.
Did you ever sort of did you ever fantasise about starting a group?
No, not really.
You didn't think of a name?
No, it was Ruby Discos, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. What did you call your disco then?
I can't.
Just Graham Simpson or something?
Yeah, I think I called it Diamond Edge, one of them.
Or Diamond Edge?
And I think that...
Is that named after a pair of hairdressing scissors?
I could have been subconsciously. I didn't do it deliberately.
Excuse me. What time you got to pick Jim up then?
About... He's got to be there for 3, I think.
Oh, well, you've got a fair bit of time then.
Well, I've got to get some fuel as well.
Yeah. Who gathered winter fuel that Good King Wenceslas? You remember the Christmas song? Good King Wenceslas last looked out. Good King Wenceslas last looked out. Do, 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 do. When the snow was deep and crisp and even. Like the sun shone the moon that night, though the frost was cruel. Oh, that's right. When a poor man came in sight, gathering winter fuel.
Caroline's had to come back up here on the train today.
Oh yeah.
From London.
Yeah.
Because her brother's dying, Michael.
Gosh. What's the matter with him then?
COPD. He's been put into palliative care.
Gosh. Are you hoping to go down to London sooner then?
Pardon?
Are you hoping to go down to London to see Alex sooner?
Well, when I can, I am, yeah.
Well, how soon can you go down then?
Well, I was hoping it might be this weekend, but I don't even think it will be next weekend.
Well, can't you make it this weekend then?
No, I've got a wedding to do with David.
Well, right. Can't they substitute for you?
No, I'm already subbing for somebody.
Right.
Don't worry if you can't do it. It don't matter.
Hmm?
Don't worry if you can't do it.
No, I'm fine for covering you. I mean, in the final analysis, the other place where I housed it, you know, I'd just look in at your place, you know, if I had to look after the dog.
Yeah.
We just sort of like have a walk past your place, make sure it was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not looking very promising for Michael.
Yeah. He probably won't be that old, I would have thought.
Mm.
No, you know, miracles do happen.
You what?
I say miracles do happen. I've heard stories of people praying and prayers being answered, and a lot of people prayed for me when I was a child, and I got meningitis. Yeah, and loads of people went to different churches to pray, and I was sitting up in bed the next day when my mother came to the children's hospital, and they said, "We've had a miracle, Mrs. Clough." And I was, I still needed to be in hospital for about 6 months, but I was, you know, lively by comparison the next day.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Well, could you go down before Saturday? Because I mean, like if what do you call it? I mean, it cost me about £40 return on the train because I got the ticket in advance. Where's the wedding anyway?
When? Oh, where?
Where? Yeah.
Rochdale.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm not bothered about doing it, but
Well,
I'm only helping them out.
yeah. Well, is he totally out of it? The other person who normally drives, then that you're filling in for.
No, everybody has a go at driving. It's I don't choose to want to do it. That's all.
Yeah.
The work's there if I want it.
Yeah.
I just don't like driving much anymore.
No.
I don't mind driving for pleasure, but I don't like driving for a job.
No. But I mean, if it's just like once every fortnight or something, and it's for a wedding, I mean, it probably wouldn't be as bad as some other driving jobs.
Oh, true.
I mean, I saw this quite well-known film once, and it was this guy was driving a truck with nitroglycerin in, and had to be very careful how he drove because, it was could be deadly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good film, that. I can't remember who was in it, but it was tense to watch. Yeah. Good that Veronica doesn't mind her head being tipped up at that angle all the time. It'd be a bit awkward otherwise. Yeah. So far, so good, Graz. It looks good. We've got some hairspray if you need it.
Yeah.
Mm. So the back combing helps you.
Just stiffens it up a bit.
Yeah, it keeps the section together, holds it together a bit, doesn't it? I think.
Yeah. What time's your client coming in?
2 o'clock.
2 or 3?
2.
2. Just for a trim, yeah.
Well, it's quite a. You know, it's been like lockdown, so it might be a bit more cut off than. You know, if that somebody hadn't had their hair done for a month, but a few months or a year, there might be more coming off than you'd normally have. Yeah. Yeah, it's looking alright so far. Mm. Yeah. Could you go to your right a bit and turn Veronica to her left a bit so you can see more what you're doing, because we're just getting you back at the moment.
It's what? Oh. What's that?
Yeah. Just while you're doing this bit, and then when you come to the other side, you can turn around again. I was falling asleep then.
Watching me doing that?
Well, just the relaxing a bit, really. Did you watch that BBC programme called The Pact?
No, I started to watch it, got bored with it.
Did you watch the first episode?
No, I didn't even get to the end of it.
Alright. Yeah, I saw all 6 episodes and it was good. Oh.
Do you get your tea from the Northern Tea Merchants now?
Yeah, do you want some?
No, well, I'll buy one off you.
Yeah. I can't really see what you're doing, Graz.
I can't either.
I mean, get yourself comfortable, but yeah, and coffee as well.
I'm not worried about coffee. I'm not a coffee lover.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, have you got a small jar to give to your guests that come and visit you, though?
What guests? Oh, I've got coffee at home, yeah.
Instant, yeah.
I don't have any guests. I've got no friends.
Well, I came and watched the football the other night.
Yeah, I know, but I still haven't got any friends.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody loves. I went to the doctor the other day. I said, "Doctor, nobody." I said, "Everybody hates me." He said, "That's not true. Not everybody knows you."
Yes, it's true.
Do you like that joke?
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, no. I mean, some people have been robbed of the opportunity, haven't they? Really.
Well, having friends. Yeah.
Or enemies. Yeah.
Friends,
I mean, there's some people might feel deprived in one way or the other.
Well, I'm not one to complain, but obviously my schooling didn't help with trying to make friends. It was always moving every 2 minutes. It's not easy.
Oh.
Getting picked on and stuff like that because you've got a different accent to everybody else and stuff.
Yeah, it's...
You've got teachers who don't rate you.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it's looking good, this. Yeah.
Teachers that don't rate you.
What, in anything? Or, I mean, you got good marks from your art teacher in Scotland.
Yeah.
But your art teacher further south wasn't too impressed one particular time, was he?
He was a bit set in his ways, I think.
Mm. You must... But didn't you realise that when you were a young teenager that, you know, some teachers weren't possibly the best?
Trouble was I didn't have any confidence to do anything. I was always scared all the time.
Mm.
You know, then we got people who were born and bred around here, Bradfield and all that area, and to them, you were just a bloody... Well, they just took the piss out of you.
What, because of your accent?
Because of my accent and the fact that I wasn't, you know, I was a bit, I was a bit shy, really.
Yeah. Wasn't anyone who at school who
took my side? Yeah.
I mean, or thought, you know, a girl who liked you, or
no, girls have never liked me.
Oh, well, I've known girls like you. That's
good brushes, these.
Yeah. Yeah, it survived being dropped to the floor. Yeah. Just let me know if you need any help or anything. I'll pass you grips and stuff.
Masks.
Well, I mean, I'm 2 meters distance. I've got a mask anyway. Yeah. Have you ever had anyone say to you, "No, Graham, from a distance, with a cardboard box on your head, you look almost handsome"?
Yeah. One woman wrote onto this website, onto this dating agency. Mm-hmm. She wrote, "You can't be serious about." She said, "Your photo. How do you honestly expect to hook up to anybody when you've got such an awful profile picture?" So,
was she an expert then?
I don't know what she was. I wrote back and I said, she said, "You'll never get anybody like that." I said, I wrote back and I said, "Yeah, probably. You're probably right." I said, "But you're no oil painting yourself."
Did you say that to her?
I wrote to her.
You said that she wasn't an oil painting?
Yeah.
Oh, you might have hurt her feelings.
Keep up with the Botex, whatever you call it.
Keep up with the boat. Did you say? Goodness me.
She's the only one who's been nasty so far.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't just, you could, well, I've known women comment about you when they come in the shop.
Really?
Yeah, about,
bad thing.
There was one, I was doing this woman's hair and you came in And the girl whose hair I was doing says, "Oh, he's tall," and I think she probably particularly found taller men attractive, unless she mistook you for a woman, but I don't think she did.
No.
But and people like different things, and I think the most complimentary thing to be admired for is your character, anyway, really, and your personality. Even if you're older, if people like you because you've claimed not to have any sense of humour, but do in actual fact make people laugh, every few weeks, because
every few weeks,
yeah,
yeah,
it's true. Some people find it funny. No, that seems a bit harsh. That woman. One of the worst things that can you get out of the way a bit so we can see what you're doing?
Yes. I thought you'd lost interest.
No. Well, I'm sure. Even if I haven't lost interest anyway, but it's probably at the most interesting part now. So you'll have to do a twirl. But one of the worst things that was said to me was when I was in the south of France. I think this guy was trying to have a go at me, really, and he I don't know what the word is. Was it? I don't know whether it was the right word, but I think he called me a geek or something. But he seemed to think it meant a geek is somebody, as far as I know, who's a bit sort of quirky and interested in slightly I don't know, quirky things. How would you define a geek? So somebody who's sort of like maybe rather than going out to a disco, they'd probably be happier to stay indoors and sort of.
I suppose you would say that's a bit geekish, I guess, but
have a stamp collection or something like that and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
I said that to that woman who, when we first opened here, and that woman came to do for the Sixer, work for the Sixer.
Yeah.
Her name was Lisa, I think.
Yeah.
And that's when the chairs were there. These chairs, and she came into she came in and sold the magazine to us and everything. And then she said, "Oh, I like it here. I think I'm gonna book in or something."
Yeah.
And I thought, "Oh God, please don't," because she got really funky hair, and I thought, I'd never be able to do it.
Didn't feel confident.
And I wasn't confident because when she came in, her friend came with her, and she wasn't impressed at all.
No.
And
because it, what do you think didn't impress her then?
Well, I think I was lacking a bit in confidence, and I think she could see through it a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's. I think that's the thing though. But do you want a hairdresser or do you want an actor? And I know you like to have a bit of a laugh and put on a bit of an act sometimes.
Who, me?
Yeah, moi.
Never do.
Pretentieux, moi. Anyway, yeah, but it. I think it's. I think we've nearly done it. Battery is empty. Your tablet will turn off in 30 seconds. All right then.
I've had to leave some of the grips where they are.
All right then. Can you do it a quick twirl? Take her head off, quick! Turn around, quick! Lower her head down. That's it. Stay there. Don't get too near.